So Valentina, my niece, who's like right around Adrian's daughter's age, we play like our own like kind of like Shark Tank concept, but we're baking up products. So one of our ideas was Pause, but it was spelled PAWSE, and it's like a day spa for dogs. But that focuses on like wellness, like mental health for dogs, anxiety treatments. What do you think about that?
Like dogs that need mothering, but mutt.
This is The Naturalist. In every episode, we're covering the products, ideas, and trends that are shaping the CPG industry.
Or that we just really like. So I realized this morning when I asked you to do the podcast that I have this horrible tendency to spring the podcast on people day of. Like, hey, want to do a podcast with us today? So thanks for being here.
In true naturalist fashion, you have, and we will talk about fashion in a moment, and I want to know what you've been thinking for Expo West. But no preparation. We have not told you anything we're going to talk about, and we gave you basically no information at all.
100%.
So
It sounds like The Naturalist.
Okay, Expo West is coming up, and you're one of our favorites to see at the show because we love talking trends, both natural products and fashion. You're always wearing something fabulous. The coats, you know the coats.
I do know the coats, yes.
So we'll be excited to see what's in store.
It's like the bar gets higher every year, and I don't know what to do now. Now I'm like, I need to go shopping.
It does get, yeah, it's very high.
It was fun to come here this time of year. I never get to wear my winter fashions. We're always somewhat warmer. Yeah.
And he didn't wear a coat today. He just arrived.
And walked.
Yeah.
Without a coat.
We had earmuffs and wool gloves, but yeah.
Wow.
Double wool, Icelandic sweater,
So you're out here in Boulder, Colorado with us for the NEXTY Awards judging.
Yes.
Just had that was an action. That might have been my favorite day of judging of all time. It was so because we had brought the drama, we brought the intellect. There was a little bit of everything, right?
What's the drama?
I mean, there was some.
Yeah, there were some highly debatable.
Like I had to step away for a meeting, and I come back, and it's like, is it this ice cream? Like it was like a battle over frozen desserts. So yeah, you never know what you're going to step into.
There's so much to consider.
What surprised you most about NEXTYs this year?
It was my first time being a part of this, so thank you. It was so fun. What surprised me the most was how much it felt like being back, like at my co-op doing this with my coworkers. Like I was telling Adrian, I get invited by the grocery guys to come over, look at products with them, evaluate them. And I don't have as many people come to the supplement body care side because our ingredient panel is so much more dense. It's all Latin and whatnot. And so it was fun to flex into my foodie side and, share different intellect with different people. And what everyone cares about. It's the company, it's the ethos, it is the ingredients, it is the packaging, all of it together and how you weight it all. It's very subjective. Yeah.
And I loved seeing like the looks on people's faces as you were like flexing your personal care.
Me too. That's what I was just going to say.
Everyone's like, okay, Steven's talking about personal care now. Listen up because you know so much. And like you said, I mean, when it comes to personal care and supplements, the ingredients and really having that expertise, like you have to be trained in that and you have to have years of experience, which you do, right? How many years of experience?
I am at 13 years this year. It's a new year, so I have to like count backwards every year. I didn't know that I was going to be giving like a toothpaste TED Talk today.
I know. That was really interesting. I learned so much.
I'm like recording it. I'm like, you're on.
But that's what I was saying earlier is that I get so much out of having retailers come and help with the NEXTY judging because I learned so many different perspectives and what you're looking for. And Toothpaste 101 was incredibly helpful. But I just find it, the conversations to be more inspiring sometimes than what we're actually there to do. I mean, I just think it's so interesting. And I love the way that we can all kind of come into it starting off thinking one thing and then completely flip-flopping somewhere else and learning so much about a product or an ingredient or what they're doing. Or I don't know. I just think it's so invaluable to me in my job.
Yeah. Yeah.
So thanks.
I loved when we would have a preliminary vote to like whittle a category down to less entries. And then we'd have another vote and people's votes would drastically change. And you're like, what? You were giving a passionate stump speech for this item. And now suddenly you're all in for this other product. But it happened so many times, and it was a hoot to see.
Well, and I'll be the first one to change sometimes because I've seen the whole process up to here. So sometimes I come in with these prejudices about like, oh, but earlier judges really thought this about this product. And then you see how much that perspective can change depending on who the judges are and all of that. So I'm as willing to be swayed as the next gal.
Yeah. The being swayed and it is swaying is so interesting. But it just goes to show that when you really dig into what goes into a product and you're really talking through like, your opinion can change on these things. And so even thinking about like the role that we have to do that vetting, and we have so many amazing products coming through the Nexties, but we really like to dig deeper around everything, whether it be the packaging story or the ingredients. So we want to talk about beauty and personal care trends today. But before we do that, were there any just kind of like for both of you and for all of us, any just like overarching trends that we feel like really stood out through the Nexties, not just for beauty and personal care, but all the products and categories?
Totally. Collabs. That's like the theme of the day for me. And right before we filmed this, I went to the bathroom on the way out. I checked my phone and saw that my category manager back home was like, oh my gosh, on Instagram, I got advertised this pickle flavored toothpaste collaboration. And I was like, no way. Pickle toothpaste.
Yes, whoa.
Wow. Showed it to Adrian and it was like, collab is totally the name of the day.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of amazing collaborations. I think we've had like 5 or 6 just today. So that's really fun to see and inspiring.
Yeah, I liked that too. And one specific example of that, we saw a couple of collabs between like a CPG company of sorts, but then a spice company. Mm-hmm. So like these like interesting, because spices, it's so important to be sourcing those ethically and then also have these like really unique combinations of spices and flavor profiles. So I thought that was really fun, in particular when it comes to collabs. So
yeah, I think whether it's ingredients or just for flavor profiles and also just elevating both brands at the same time, I think is such an important, not just an important goal that can have incredible ramifications for marketing and for getting both brands' names out there, but also just kind of for the spirit of this industry, which is so based in community and I don't know, I find it really inspiring.
Yeah.
It's fun because food and personal care, they're both really fun things if you let them be. And so I think that highlighted the fun you can have with those. A collab can like really elevate both brands, or it could be like, there were some that we were kind of confused by, like, why would they partner on this thing? And so I think it highlights that a collab can be really successful, but also remembering like why you might partner with somebody, what's in it for both of you, and what's it doing for your brands overall.
And sometimes it surprises you, right? Like, for example, like the Blake Shelton Post Malone recent collab. Should it work? But it does. I feel like that should work in it.
So like Martha Stewart and Snoop Dogg.
There we go.
Yeah, it works.
I also loved some of the just like simplicity. I feel like I said this a lot over the course of the day, and it like maybe goes without saying, but I think that reinforcing the importance of simple, real ingredients across all categories. And we've seen that kind of ebb and flow in the CPG industry, and we've gone to a place where there's lots of products that have lots of ingredients or trying to achieve really big things. And I think just taking a step back from that and getting back to simple, clean, and some products that had just a few ingredients and nailed it. It was pretty amazing. All right, let's talk beauty, personal care.
Fantastic.
Pickle toothpaste.
Toothpaste, trend number 1. Is there anything that may be a bit stickier than
pickle toothpaste? Well, I mean, at PCC, we found that oral care overall, sticking with the toothpaste theme, has really been like on the continued rise. And I'm not sure where that's headed overall, but it's fun. It's like a 2-year growth trajectory for us. Like it's just something that we've seen gains and they continued through 2024. And I'm expecting that same trend in 2025. But I don't know. I'm kind of seeing what's next after toothpaste.
Yeah.
Like, is that a good gateway natural product?
Do you think it's is it a format thing? Like, is it toothpaste tablets, or is it that they're getting probiotics added to them or microbiome enhancing I don't know. I mean, or is it just kind of same old products, but you're just seeing them on the rise in general?
I think it's just classic tube paste format toothpaste.
Huh.
Jar toothpaste as well for us as well.
Do you think it's because people aren't wearing masks anymore?
That might be it.
Brush these puppies.
And I don't know what current, trends are as far as public health when it comes to, I know there's a correlation between heart health and gum health. And so taking care of your mouth is important. I don't know if that's become a big PSA again in the media, but some of our local big chain stores were locking up products like toothpaste as well. So putting behind lock and key, you have to ask a staff member to help unlock them. And we don't lock up toothpaste at our stores. So maybe that's as simple as that people are coming in and buying a product because it's accessible to them. Weird. I don't know.
That is interesting, though, because I think I've seen a couple things in the oral care category. I think there's just been more product innovation in terms of actually delivering the efficacy that consumers are looking for, like better performing oral care products in natural. But then I think that's a really interesting point about tying oral care to these other health systems and heart health and brain health and the microbiome and all these things, which maybe also leads consumers to realize, oh, this is about whole body health. And so choosing a cleaner product for that is going to be important. Because I wonder, what's actually driven consumers to buy more of these products in their natural retail environment. Because I think they used to feel like it wouldn't work. And now
and I wonder if there's a correlating drop in sales at all in conventional for oral.
Before oral care, we saw a similar trend in deodorant years ago. And so deodorant was kind of a gateway to natural, and those are still continuing to get better and better formulas. I've just seen those get better over time. They're less irritating to the armpit. Now we're seeing crazy deodorant detox, underarm detoxifiers. Yeah, health is very important. Oral care, and what's next after that? I'm just so curious where we're headed.
So we got the pits, we got the mouth.
It's the year of the nook and the cranny.
Oh. My mind went right to dude wipes.
It's also the... okay, yes. Are there other trends that you're really seeing right now? What are they?
Well, not to just make fun of that, the dude wipes kind of thing, but actually clean wipes. It's kind of like water wipes that are better for the planet fibers. A lot of those have not been very sustainable overall. People want the convenience of wipe format, but now I'm starting to see more that are actually all natural, able to biodegrade, that kind of thing. So that might be something we see. I want to see that transition to sheet masks too. Things that are convenient forms of skincare and hygiene, great experience to use, but then not so great for the environment. How do we make those better?
And that's part of the waterless trend, is it?
Some of them have water in them, but it's less. It's more on the go type products.
Yes.
Yeah. Skincare while traveling kind of thing.
And we have seen a couple of reusable sheet masks come to market. Have those gotten any traction in PCC?
Oh, like the silicone ones that you add your own to kind of thing. I've not seen those really hang on, and no one's really found a good packaging method. To me, those really stand out on the shelf. Skincare is such a tight set, and then to have something that is going to be, $20, $30 for an item that takes up a prominent shelf space, low turn, really be able to hold its own.
We had one that won a NEXTY a couple of years ago, and it wasn't silicone. I don't remember what the fiber was, but it was reusable, and it came with a solution thing that you'd soak it, but it was still a complex process. I think that it's getting there, but maybe not there yet.
Yeah. Let's talk about that for a second, because I think one of the things we're seeing, particularly in personal care, is that a lot of these products require consumers to change their behaviors. And one of the innovations we saw, I think, addressed maybe we're trying to get them to change their behaviors too much and it's not quite working. It was one of our waterless products. So what are you seeing around that, Steven? Whether it be an innovative format of a product or a different packaging system? Are consumers willing to change their behavior significantly when it comes to beauty and personal care for the sake of, using a cleaner product?
Not really. People really want products in the format that they'd experienced it in the past. I think there's a niche portion that are going to want things like the toothpaste tablets, or going to want something like that reusable sheet mask. But most people have their routine. They're used to applying deodorant, toothpaste the same way they always have. So you have to figure out how to meet them in the middle, but offer a better for you product with other benefits beyond on kind of packaging. Yeah.
I would think that for some personal care products, the challenge there is always going to be the price point, because it's hard, when you're looking at a quality product that has a certain price point and you're going to be trying and experimenting with something totally new. It's hard to make that switch when you don't know if it's going to work, when you don't know if I would think that just kind of creates a barrier in some ways for people to change those habits.
Yeah. Let's talk about skincare for a second, because I was saying the skincare category is pretty saturated. Yeah? There's a lot of clean skincare products.
There is, totally. Yeah.
So what makes something stand out? If you were going to take in a new skincare, let's say an anti-aging product, what would be something that would really make you okay, I'm going to move this product off the shelf to bring this one in?
I think a big piece of it is going to be price point. Really, really drilling down on creating products that work for everyday people, and their wallets is huge and really hard to accomplish with quality products. I think anything efficacious that has some science backing. I know Weleda, when they launched a couple other products a year or two ago, they did a lot of scientific kind of study claims on those products and how they work. And I think people want the science on that. We're no longer in the era of skincare of just applying coconut oil to our face. We kind of went that way for a moment. Then we kind of went really complex routine, kind of K-beauty, complex ingredients no one understands. And now I feel like we're kind of in this era of how do we meet in the middle with efficacious ingredients in a format people want at a price that they can return and purchase the same ingredient or the same product again.
When it comes to science, are you looking for science on the finished product or on the ingredients?
Ooh, that's a tough one. Sometimes I think either is great. I think a finished product is always going to be more impactful than a singular ingredient in a product like a face lotion, because there's so many ingredients. Those are long, 30-plus ingredient panels. So I think that's the most important piece is the final product, unless it's a really unique, innovative ingredient. We saw one, I think, earlier today with a NEXTY judging, and it was this algae that did something. And it was so cool to see that ingredient being kind of the star of that product, what set it apart from other items.
And it had the clinical backing to that as well.
It did, yeah.
What about the multi-use products? We've certainly seen a couple of those today, and it's something that we've talked about a lot, like the 2-in-1, the 4-in-1. I mean, I know that's been a trend that's kind of been building for the past couple of years, and kind of ties in with that idea of simplifying routines. And are you still seeing that as something that's coming into the store?
I think we're seeing especially when it comes to skincare meets cosmetics, I think there's a little less need for people aren't as brand loyal with cosmetics as they were in the past. They're seeing something on TikTok, Instagram. I want that one item for that look when I go out. But people don't have the same daily makeup routine. No one's going to office 5 days a week at this time. It's your makeup routine is for special occasions. When it comes to millennials and Gen Z, a lot of it's actually festival type makeup and stuff. So it's just way crazier and different than a day-to-day look. And so when you are just looking for a daily moisturizer, something tinted is great just for daily use. So you kind of get that no makeup look. So in that way, I think the 2-in-1, 3-in-1 can be helpful.
Or if you're super lazy like me, which is what we also talk about.
And we were kind of laughing about K-beauty because I recently introduced Adrienne to my favorite K-beauty line, but it requires 4 steps. And I'm curious if
I've not tried it yet, but I'm going to work it into my schedule.
Does it have the snail mucus?
It doesn't have the snail mucus, but this company does have one of those, but I haven't done it. Speaking of snail mucus, we had a beverage today that had some sort of insect saliva.
We did. That was a really interesting product. Black tea with a twist. Stay tuned for more.
Okay, let's go. Let's take a walk into PCC and your section, your department. Tell us, from a retailer perspective, and again, one of our favorite retailers that's overseeing personal care and supplements, how do you make your department stand out and really connect with consumers, whether they're people who have always bought beauty and supplements from you, or maybe they were only shopping grocery and now they want to come on over to your department? What makes it stand out?
That is a great question. And been doing a lot of digging to figure out that question recently. And it's kind of a big focus for 2025 is really creating that destination. Like what makes us unique? Especially as a grocery retailer, it's like in the non-food space, people can buy all that stuff online and you can hunt for a deal. But when people in our store, what makes them come in for products in the supplement body care space and what makes them pick certain products? And what I've found is it's actually unique offerings. So it's things that other retailers don't carry. It's direct brands, not things we're getting through distribution. I've found that that's where so much of our growth is coming from is either local skincare companies or just finding something really unique and bringing it in.
So like really, at the end of the day, it's really unique products that people can't find anywhere else.
I believe so.
Products for all those nooks and crannies.
And it's either unique to us or it's things that due to a direct relationship and not having a distributor allows us to be more flexible in pricing. And so we're able to offer a price savings compared to some of our competitors.
And how are you finding those products other than at Newtopia now?
There's places like Newtopia, Expo West, going to local distribution channels as well.
Yeah.
There's just a few smaller, more boutique style distributors that are kind of breaking the mold. Yeah, there's one down in Anaheim that I go visit whenever I'm down there for Expo West.
Yeah, that is interesting how some of these like newer and smaller distributors are kind of shaking things up, probably especially in beauty and personal care, right?
Yeah. And also going across the border too. So New Zealand has so many amazing skincare lines. I've not actually been to see some of those things, but I'm seeing so much innovation.
I think you're planting the seed for some good work trips
from New Zealand.
And New Zealand's really interesting specifically because they have so many botanical ingredients out of New Zealand that like, I remember talking with, I think the New Zealand Trade Association or something, but one of the things that they were specializing in is these companies that were sourcing ingredients that you can't find anywhere else in the world. And they have this just like really vibrant botanical world there. So we can all visit.
Maybe we should go too.
Yeah.
Right? Here we go. Work trip. Work. But also go to like little trade shows like in Canada. And I'm going to one actually later this week in Mexico. I think that's what sets us kind of apart. And it's just kind of pushing those boundaries. Like what's possible? Where can we find unique products? Yeah. What's next?
Well, I love this. Steven, you're always so much fun to talk to about all things natural products. And it was so fun judging with you today.
So fun. And more tomorrow.
I can't wait for tomorrow. Yeah.
We should wear costumes tomorrow.
Oh.
It's too cold for that. I didn't bring costumes.
You really should rate and subscribe.
Oh, we're getting so professional.